All right, you can also use the flexflow property. So the flexflow is a shorthand property for setting both the flex direction and the flex wrap. So in one line or in one declaration, you could call out both flex direction, row or column, and flex wrap properties, wrap or no wrap. So you wouldn't have to say specifically flex direction, row, and flex wrap. You can do both in a shorthand version. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down. The justify. So this is something that would have been pretty tough to do with floats, but basically now we can justify content. So we can, and justifying would be, we're dealing with our content on the X or the horizontal. So we could say justify content center, and our content would in fact be in the center of our flex element. You can also say flex start or flex end. So if we were to take a look at this is an example of flex end. So we can say justify content flexed end, and what we're doing is we are now moving our content over to the right hand side. So unlike the previous example where we did a reverse, like a row reverse, we are still keeping our first element, okay, then the second, then the third, instead of doing a reverse, which is like a true float right, where this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3. So if we change to float, get used to the float. So flex start, now we will have 1, 2, 3, okay? All right, so instead of using row or column reverse, what we're doing is using a flex start, a center, or a flex end to either have our content start on the left side, to center in the element, or basically move to the right hand side. Okay, let's go ahead and back out and scroll down. You can also deal with space around and space between. Okay, so if we test this out, so we have space between the elements, so we're creating space between them, or we could say justify content space around our elements, and you can see that this space around the elements is evenly created. So this space, this here, and this space. So it's just being divided up evenly. Okay, let's back out here. And now the align items property. So this is when we start dealing with vertical. So the previous was dealing with our content on the X or the horizontal. So now we're going to deal with elements on the Y or the vertical. Okay, so this is the align items property. So you can see you can have align item center, flex start, or flex end. So let's go ahead and take a look. So now we can have flex end. See, it's at the bottom. All right. We could have flex start, and the elements will move up to the top of their parent element. Okay. And always have to think about this one for a second, because I think of flex start, flex end, why not flex center? But it's just center. So we'll go ahead and run, and now your content starts in the center this way. So we can have elements, we can work with them by justifying them, okay, which is the x-axis, and then we can align items, which basically works with columns.